Hello, basketball people, we have news. Let's go to more news about the Golden State Warriors. I ask you to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I am a Warriors fan. The story of Draymond Green and the Warriors is beautiful and victorious, with 4 NBA championships. It's difficult to imagine Draymond Green playing for another team, but this could happen, as the Warriors need significant reinforcements and could involve Green in a trade that brings in a high-level star to play alongside Stephen Curry and seek another championship. It is no surprise that, given the opportunity they have been eyeing for years is now presenting itself, the Golden State Warriors are putting together the best possible deal they can assemble for Bucks star Giannis Antetokounmpo. In the end, that is expected to include some combination of Brandon Podziemski, Jonathan Kuminga, and Moses Moody, paired with first-round draft picks and one of the team's most expensive contracts. That would be either the $54 million owed to Jimmy Butler or the $25.8 million owed to Draymond Green. Neither of those options is all that appealing. Trade away Green in a package for Antetokounmpo and the Warriors would be dumping a 14-year veteran of the franchise, one who is close with Stephen Curry and helped the team to 5 championships. Trade away Butler, as he is recovering from an ACL surgery, and the Warriors would be saddled with especially poor optics. Initial reports on the Warriors' approach suggested that Butler would be the big outgoing piece. But veteran reporters Mark Stein and Jake Fisher warn we should pump the brakes on that. Warriors may be forced to trade Draymond Green. Here's what the duo reported on the Warriors' plan in Stein's Saturday Substack article, another Antetokounmpo development that has emerged over the past 24 hours. We've heard further strong indications that the Warriors' pursuit of Antetokounmpo is unlikely to involve Jimmy Butler's contract. So what does that mean for lifelong Warrior Draymond Green? It has long been assumed that a credible Golden State offer would have to include Green or Butler for salary matching purposes. If it is Green who is included in the deal, the Warriors would almost certainly need to include a third, maybe a fourth, team because not only would Green be outgoing, but so would all 3 of the Warriors' young players, and perhaps Buddy Hield, too. It would be a mega trade, and harder to pull off. It is Green who is on the block and not Butler. Patience on Giannis Antetokounmpo trade. One thing that the Stein line indicated is something we have been hearing at Heavy Sports, too. The Bucks are happy to take in Antetokounmpo trade offers, but they are not feeling especially pressured to make their move this week, by the Warriors or anybody. There are advantages for the Bucks to wait, as teams can get their books in order and reset some of their future draft picks. In doing so, Milwaukee can hope it will get a better offer. But teams are telling the Bucks that their interest in Antetokounmpo might not extend into the summer, when teams' luxury tax and apron situations also reset. Some teams that make an Antetokounmpo deal in the summer rather than now could find themselves hard-capped at a lower number than they'd like. It is complicated, no doubt. Still, a star like Antetokounmpo is on the market. Expect the Warriors to make their best move. Draymond Green bracing for punishment before Warriors 76ers game. Golden State Warriors forward Draymond Green faces league scrutiny after his latest confrontation with officials. The 35-year-old veteran accumulated his 10th technical foul this season during a 131-124 loss to the Detroit Pistons at Chase Center on Friday. Green disputed a no-call involving Pistons player Ozar Thompson during the second quarter. He followed referee JT Orr to the review table while arguing about the decision. Orr told the forward, "This is your chance to stop talking to me." Green responded, "Bro, don't put your hand in my face," before receiving the technical foul. Est. The veteran finished the game with 15 points, 7 assists and 6 rebounds in 33 minutes. His post-game comments escalated the situation by naming the official directly. Green's frustration stemmed from what he believed was a misinterpretation of the rules by Orr. The Warriors star believed the Pistons should have been called for a delay of game for holding up Golden State's ability to inbound the basketball for a potential fast break. Draymond Green's fine expectations based on recent NBA precedent. League rules set penalties for technical fouls starting at $2,000 for the first offense. A warning letter is issued after a player receives his 10th technical foul during a season, and suspensions may occur after the 16th. Minnesota Timberwolves guard Anthony Edwards was fined $75,000 in December 2024 for publicly criticizing referees. Cleveland Cavaliers guard Ty Jerome received a $25,000 fine in March 2025 for similar comments about official Natalie Sago. Both players named specific officials and complained strongly about them. The NBA often punishes public criticism when referees are mentioned by name. Green has paid more than $1 million in career fines across 14 seasons. His May 2025 penalty was $50,000 for questioning the referee's integrity after a playoff loss. The Warriors next play the Philadelphia 76ers on Tuesday in San Francisco. The league office will likely announce its decision on any punishment before the tip-off against Philadelphia. Takeaways from Warriors' loss to Pistons: Dubs need to trade for paint presence. The Golden State Warriors, 27-23, trimmed a 20-point deficit to 3 in the fourth quarter, but they couldn't get over the hump in a 131-124 loss to the Detroit Pistons, 35-12, on Friday at Chase Center. Stephen Curry had a team-high 23 points, but he left the game in the second half with knee soreness. Cade Cunningham had a game-high 29 points and 11 assists. Here are 2 takeaways from Friday's game. Warriors need to trade for paint presence. The Warriors were outscored 62-40 in the paint on Friday. They were also out-rebounded 53-42. Jalen Duren had his way inside, finishing with 21 points and 13 rebounds. Isaiah Stewart came off the bench and made a big impact with 14 points and 5 rebounds. Meanwhile, Al Horford and Quinton Post combined for 19 points and 9 rebounds. Giannis Antetokounmpo would be the best possible cure to the Warriors' paint problems on offense and defense. But if they don't land him, they need to address the issue by trading for a center. I wrote a Miles Turner trade idea on Friday. Using the Kuminga contract as the centerpiece of a Turner trade might be their best bet. But if they trade Kuminga for a wing upgrade instead, they can try to make a second trade for someone like the Blazers' Robert Williams III, who is making $13.3 million. And if they need to go to the bargain bin, they can try to get Jock Landale, $2.3 million salary, from the Grizzlies. We know the Warriors don't have much offensive talent, which leads to some turnover issues like they had Friday with 18. The combination of the turnovers and being dominated in the paint is too much to overcome. They need to try to fix the latter by Thursday's trade deadline. Santos clearly in the top 7 of the rotation. Gue Santos had another stellar game Friday, finishing with 16 points on 7 of 9 shooting. He had a couple of driving baskets that the Warriors desperately need. Santos has been playing well for a while, but it's new for him to play 25 minutes in a game when most of the rotation regulars were healthy. The only other games this season in which he played 25+ were at Cleveland, missing Steph, Butler, and Green, versus Oklahoma City, missing Steph, Butler, and Green, and at Minnesota, missing Steph, Butler, and Green. Earlier in the season, Post and Will Richard were clearly ahead of Santos on the rotation pecking order, but that's no longer the case. The Warriors are desperate for Santos' size, 6 feet 7 inches, and physicality. But it's more than that. He finished January shooting 54.5% from the field. Outside of DeAnthony Melton, no one is more valuable off the bench than Santos. Takeaways from Warriors win over T-Wolves: starting lineup change pays off. Takeaways from Warriors win over Jazz: Dubs play perfect 10-man rotation. Moody's value also featured in Wednesday's takeaways. The Golden State Warriors, 27-22, routed the Utah Jazz, 15-33, 140-124 on Wednesday at Delta Center. Stephen Curry led all scorers with 27 points, and Moses Moody added 26. 9 Warriors made at least one three-pointer, and overall Golden State shot 23 of 54, 43%, from 3. Here are 2 takeaways from Wednesday's game. Warriors play perfect 10-man rotation. I have nothing against Gary Payton II, DNP, coach's decision. Pat Spencer played final 4 minutes, and Tracy Jackson Davis played final 4 minutes. And I have nothing against Jonathan Kuminga and Seth Curry, who are currently injured. But even when all 5 are healthy, the Warriors should play this 10-man rotation. The Warriors started with Steph, Brandon Podziemski, Moody, Draymond Green and Al Horford. They all finished plus 16 or better. Horford, 8, Pods, 7, and Green, 6, combined for 21 assists. The ball moved nicely, and the offense scored efficiently. DeAnthony Melton, Gue Santos, Will Richard, Quinton Post and Buddy Hield were the only Warriors who played off the bench before garbage time. All 5 scored in double figures. Santos had 16 points on 7 field goal attempts. Richard had 13 points and 3 more steals. Of course, this was the Jazz, who have the worst defense in the NBA. The Warriors will have it harder against the Pistons on Friday and moving forward. But Steve Kerr shouldn't force Kuminga minutes when these 10 are healthy. Sure, if one gets hurt, Kuminga would be the first choice. And if the Warriors make a trade for an upgrade at the wing, then of course that player will probably play a lot, probably forcing Hield out of the rotation. But for now, this is the 10-man group that gives the Warriors the best chance to win. Moody looking damn near indispensable again. Moses Moody will probably never be an all-star, so of course I'm not saying he's off limits this trade deadline. But when he's filling the 3-and-D role as well as he has for the last 9 games, the Warriors have to be sure that trading him will result in an upgrade. Moody has made 33 of his 62 three-point attempts in his last 9 games. That's 53.2%. He's also the team's best wing defender. At 6 feet 5 inches, he doesn't have the size to bother the bigger, more physical wings, but he does a pretty good job against most wings. He entered Wednesday with a team-best plus 8.0 defensive net rating, per cleaning the glass. If the Warriors make an unlikely blockbuster trade for Giannis or someone close to that stratosphere, they have to someone remaining on the roster capable of defending wings and making threes. That's why outside of Curry, Moody is among 2 or 3 players they really can't afford to trade unless the player they get back does exactly what Moody does and more.